Everybody, thank you so much for joining the podcast today. I am back with a very special guest, Miss Jenni McMorran, all the way from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. She is here on behalf of Renoworks, a really cool company doing amazing things in the exterior space, especially when it comes to visualization, something that we all know is very important in the buying cycle. So Jenni, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and why they should care about Renoworks, right?
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Very excited to be on the podcast. Said before, it's the first podcast I've done, so
First time.
Oh well. But yeah, I've been in the construction industry mostly since I ran my own college pro painters franchise back in university. If you've ever heard of College Pro, there's a few student painting companies out there. They kind of teach you the beginning to end of how to run a business. And then painting is just the business that we do, and learned a lot from that. Is a really good experience. And then traveled, did some things, and then I started working at Renoworks and just never left. So Renoworks is in the construction industry, and just enjoyed working in the space. So Renoworks has actually been around over 24 years. It was also started by a contractor who back then was being asked what the project would look like when it was done by the homeowner. So he basically hired a developer. They made a contractor-specific version of Photoshop and worked with all the big manufacturers, digitized their product offerings, and made that a visualization tool that was more realistic and easy to use. So that's what Renoworks does. And we all know visualization is not a new thing. Pictures are worth more than 1,000 words, as they say. You can describe something, and you hope that you're describing it and your spouse or whoever else is picturing what you're saying, but you don't really know until you look at a picture and you both say, yeah, that's what's in my head. We know about 80% of people, they have trouble visualizing new changes to their home. Even back when I ran my painting business, I remember one house, most houses were pretty neutral, but this one house, they wanted to do green and black. So they did greenhouse with some funny black accent trim. And when it was all done, painted it the way they described, it looked like a Ninja Turtle house. It was so ugly. I didn't even want to put it in my before and afters. But yeah, visualizer, if I'd had that, then might have made different decisions, but it worked out. It was fine. The homeowners didn't complain. But
I think yeah, I think like you said something interesting there. It's that visualization isn't new in contracting and all that kind of stuff. Everybody knows that, but right, if you go to pick a roofer, pick 20 roofers, go to their websites, pick stucco, siding, exteriors, whatever it is, go to their websites. I would bet my next paycheck that they don't have a visualizer on their website, and I know that I am right, because I work with a ton of roofers, right, and we work with the same, we kind of industries cross. That's kind of how we got together, but we know that they don't use these kinds of tools. But people that do use visualization tools, right, their sales are online, especially exponential might be too intense of a word, but they're significantly better than it is for people that don't have it, right? And a big part of that is what? It's that first touch point where people can actually start playing around and seeing, right, and engaging with the brand.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. That's a big thing. Online shopping is huge now. People go to your website. They look up everything before they call you. You got good reviews. You give them information they need. They want to feel almost there at the decision before they waste any time on you. People are too busy for that. So that's huge. If you can put on their website, then they can just upload a photo, start trying things out, and then when they're ready to call you, they're just that much more ready to close the deal. So
yeah,
it's huge.
I think too, one of the things is when someone goes to a website, right, a lot of them look shitty, that you go there and it's just like some website. It's got a phone number, maybe it's got a guy on a roof. If you're lucky, you have your own pictures for your brand, and it's just kind of boring vanilla stuff, right? But when someone does go to a website and they do have a visualization tool, something they can interact with, not only have you as the brand given them an experience to remember, right, you've also gotten them to give you their information, interact with you, right? And you're not looking at those kinds of tools. You're not using Renoworks on somebody's website to visualize a project unless you're taking the steps and kind of making it happen, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. The homeowner wants to visualize a picture of their own home. They're going to go out of their house, take a picture of their house. They're already invested. Now they're looking at their house and thinking about it. Like, what's my neighbor's house look like? What does my house look like? What do I want? Then they go, they upload their photo, give you their name, their email address, and they just, I mean, people are used to doing that now. You give your email address for everything. And if you want to download something that interests you enough, so then the contractor gets that. They can put in a CRM, continue to nurture that lead, but the homeowner is busy trying on new products and colors and just getting really into this project and getting excited about it.
And people like that whole buying experience is changing, right? So you had a lot. I mean, we talked before. You had a lot to say about how it's kind of changing for people, right? In the contract, well, people looking to hire a contractor. How else is it kind of changing? I mean, I know that people. Sorry, excuse me for assuming that we're near the same age, but young, like Gen Z, millennials, those kinds of people, they buy a little differently, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of them are very comfortable with technology. I mean, the car industries, even they were one of the first ones to do this, where you could go online and buy very expensive high-end vehicles and customize it, add all these things onto it, and just start the shopping without that car salesman sitting there telling you and trying to woo you over with their charisma. They're just able to spend the time on their own, going through on the website and deciding, what do I like? Is this budget good? Like, do I like this? And then when they get to that point with the salesperson, it's a little bit less pressure. So I think that's a huge thing. The other thing that's really changing, and I actually just wanted to paint a picture of this. So I think this describes a lot of people, and it's sort of a new way in the construction industry, especially for contractors are so used to that face-to-face, and you got to go there, shake their hand to really make an impression. But I mean, now if you've got a website with good content, you've got excellent reviews, when they call you, they're already halfway bought into you. They already believe that you're going to do well. And so they don't really need that salesperson necessarily to be the one that does the whole thing. They're halfway there. So not, like I said, a visual person, so I'm just going to paint a story for you. So let's say you've got Jim Bob, the contractor.
Yeah.
Gets a call from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and their roof is old and worn out. They know they need a new one for a couple of years. They've done a lot of research and they're really interested in switching to a metal roof. This we actually know is becoming a trend. From the beginning report is metal roofs are becoming more popular. So they want to get a metal roof, and they put it off for a few years now. They also had some siding damage, let's say, and they are excited to try a new color on their home. They've never liked it. They want to see what green's going to look like. They've looked up your company, they looked up your website, you got hundreds of 5-star reviews, you look great. They give you a call, but they're very busy. They put off the roof for so long. They've got kids, they're in all these activities. It's hard to pin them down for that in-home meeting, but they're very motivated to get the work done. So Jim Bob, contractor, says, no problem. Let's schedule a call for later this week. We'll do it on Zoom. Everyone knows what Zoom is now since the pandemic. So we'll give you a price and I'll show you what metal roof with green sidings can look like on your home. So Jim Bob goes to his computer, he types in the address, orders an Eagle Beam measurement report, and he gets back a whole home report with the siding, roofing, windows, everything he needs to put together a proposal. And then he also gets back a 3D model, and he puts green siding on it, brown metal roof. He has that call with Mr. and Mrs. Jones. They love the look, they're good at the price, and they love how easy Jim Bob has made it so far. So Jim Bob goes to the house next day, just verifies everything is as expected, there's no surprises, and finalizes the price and gets sign off. That's kind of a big shift from what we kind of expect, but I mean, we've heard contractors doing virtual sales, kind of a one in a handful. Even 5-6 years ago when I was going to these trade shows, there was a guy who came back from his his conference room or his hotel room that night, and he's like, "Hey, I just sold a $350,000 job over the phone."
Hmm.
That's amazing. But he's
That's
using
great.
tools, and um, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I think you're right when it comes to just that whole experience, that journey, right? And the way a good way to think about it too is like this: if someone is using that tool, right, like Renoworks, and they put in their information with you, right? Like, so we've already gotten that touch point that you talked about. So the contractor, let's go back to Jim Bob. Good old Jim Bob has his leads in his Renoworks. He can also pull that information out, right? And then he can email those people, and he can give that to a guy like me to use in remarketing on Facebook or Instagram, right? So you can take us like had that roof that the customer built or whatever, and you can put it, show it to them in an ad on Facebook and say, hey, I know you built this house. Do you want to, move forward with take this next step together and start working on it, right? You do the same thing in email, the same thing in your Google ads or YouTube or whatever it is. So you got this whole experience, and it's not just like have it on the website and that's it. You get the lead from it. If they don't close, you follow them around, you keep using it, right? And I think that's where these kind of people kind of fall short. They get like not tunnel vision, but they don't see they miss the forest for the trees, right? Where they just see this one thing. Renoworks helps out with a lot of other stuff.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's we keep integrating with new partners to really do that whole the beginning to end for that to close the job that really you got from the beginning, the marketing experience with the homeowners. Close, use the tools to close the deal. And if you don't close the deal, you keep using it as a marketing tool to keep getting those
Yeah.
people that slip between the cracks.
Yeah. And Jenny, we were talking earlier today. You said something really interesting about people and their buying behaviors, right? Especially with big purchases like a new roof. Talk a little bit about that right now for the audience.
Yeah, for sure. So we know people make buying decisions based on love or fear. It's kind of just a psychology sort of basic 101 of either that what motivates you. And so it's pretty easy when someone's got a leaky roof. They've
Yeah.
got fear, they need the roof fixed, and you come in, you're going to fix it right away, then that's a done sale. But when it comes to retail, it's a little bit harder to motivate them with fear. And people don't want to be motivated by fear all the time anyway. So if you can motivate them with love and they get excited about the opportunity, the potential of how cool their house is going to look, how it's going to make them feel, how their neighbors are going to think about it, and you're really kind of diving deeper into that purchase decision with that homeowner. So you can show them the possibilities. I mean, maybe you've got a homeowner that watches all these celebrity shows and has some crazy ideas in her head of what she wants her house to look like. And now you show them, this is what your house looks like now. Unless you want me to tear it down, rebuild. And we're going to take some elements from those homes, kind of put them into your home. And how now we can make your house totally unique to you, but still kind of drawing off of your inspiration. And that could be difficult if you didn't have a tool like Renoworks Visualizer to pin down what that look is and set those expectations right. Because if they're expecting to get some Hollywood home because that's what their inspiration photo said, and you're like, sure, I'll do something like that, and then you start doing it, like, that doesn't look like the inspiration photo. Now you're trying to gauge your expectations are on the wrong place at the beginning. So they kind of work it off of a photo of the real house and doing a way better experience at the end.
So you're really doing like a whole customer experience here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we see it in a lot of our customers on the testimonials on their website. They'll have reviews that are talking about the whole experience. They'll say, Jim Bob Contracting, they showed up, they're great to work with. And they also had this really cool visualization tool that we used at the beginning that I loved. And they'll remember it in the entire experience. It'll be on that review on that at the end of the job. So definitely something that sets their mind at ease, and it's just really creates a good footing to start off with. And
Yeah, I think well, you cut out there at the last part. What'd you say at the end?
just to end or to it creates a good experience for the home.
It does.
I mean, really all I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, you really see a big difference when people invest into the customer experience, when they're not just investing into like, how many leads can I get? It's like, we're always playing a volume game, right? We always want more. But when we start thinking about quality and we start thinking about the customer experience and what we're actually delivering to people before the end product, then we kind of have an idea of like what they're like, how we kind of guide them from where they are, like where they want to be ultimately with the contractor, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
how many, in terms of like the people that start using Renoworks, like what kind of numbers do you usually see um when they do start using the product, or over the course of a quarter, a year, whatever it is? Are there any like number success stories, like X amount increase in leads or sales, that kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah, we see contractors, they let us know, they tell us they've increased their closing rates from 30% to 60%.
Nice.
Just by having this visualizer part of that sales process. And then they're also upselling. So I've also heard they're increasing job sizes because they're able to just show a more expensive product or add some stone knee wall on there that we all know stone costs more money. So things like that, if they're able to just visually see it and again, you trigger their love emotion, they like it and they're able to afford it in their budget. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. So it's always good to do that good, better, best and just present another option that they might not have thought of and then they really love it in the end. We've literally actually had that testimonial. I think I just quoted somebody. Thanks for showing me this new
No,
idea.
my pleasure. We can include that too. We send this out to everybody. But if somebody wants to, and this has been great, I appreciate, I know everybody else out there does too, from a roofing standpoint. You don't always come across products like Renoworks that are backed by people you can actually talk to, you know what I mean? Or with success stories and numbers. I think the last question I have for you is how many contractors are currently using Renoworks?
So we've got a few hundred that are using their own subscription to Visualizer. And some of that is really we've been around a long time, but like I mentioned, we focused a lot of time with building manufacturers for a while there. So we built those relationships, we've digitized their libraries, and we've actually created visualizers for most of the manufacturers out there. So if you only sell one product, let's say you're like an all-side dealer and you only sell all-side siding, nothing else, then there's lots of contractors that just go to that all-side visualizer and that's all they use. But if you're selling metal roofing and all-side and stone and you need a few options, then those are the contractors that are buying the Renoworks Pro visualizer tool. So we're in the last year or so, we've really revitalized the product. We're going out to market a lot more aggressively. And so a lot of the time contractors tell us when they find us, they're like, I never knew you existed. And I'm so happy to find you because we just didn't have that awareness out there as much. And so it's really shifting this year. We're going back out to promote the contractor solution.
That's awesome. Now, if someone wants to get in touch with you guys, what's the best way for them to do it?
Our website is really good. Renoworks.com. Your contractor, just there's the new Renoworks Pro is on there, and you can book a demo and or give us a call and talk to myself or Brittany on our team, and we'd be happy to show you how it works. And you can sign up for a free trial, free 7-day trial. You can reach out to One SEO. They can also point you in their direction.
Happy to send you right over to Jenny.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Awesome, Jenny. Well, listen, I know you're a busy woman. I really thank you so much for the time today. I know we went a little bit over, but that's all right. Anything else you want to leave everybody with?
I just encourage you before things get busy. Now is really the time to start looking at the tools that you might want to use for the year. And even if you think it's too soon, it's always better to have everything ready and ready to go, because you never know if the weather just suddenly becomes amazing and you start doing work in March and you're like, all right, let's go. You won't have time then. So I encourage you to start looking at these tools now and get prepped.
Don't wait till it's too late, everybody. So check out Jenni, check out Renoworks. If you need any marketing help, obviously reach out to us. But Jenni, thank you again so much for being here. We will talk to you very soon.
Thank you, Bernie. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Bye, everyone.